Hello and welcome everybody to a Curiosity Conversation. I'm your host, Jimmy Cerrone. So excited to have you because today we're going to continue our conversation about the Enneagram with the talk about the type 9. Now, as usual, we're going to talk about the core, the wings, the directions of integration and disintegration, and finally, tips for growth for the 9. So let's start out with the core. At their core, 9s fear loss and separation, and they desire inner peace. As you can tell, this inner peace is an inward thing, and this fear of loss and separation is an outward thing. But out of this tension between the inside and the outside grows this passion of sloth. And that can sound like laziness, but really what it is a way to try to balance these inner and outer worlds. And it can sometimes come out in laziness, but really it's a way of conserving energy to try to meet their needs and maintain this sense of peace they so desire. Now, let's talk about the wings to get a look at how this comes out in the world. So, on the one hand, 9s have an 8 wing, which is the challenger. This is really interesting to combine with the relatively low energy of the 9. And when they are combined, you get the referee. This is really cool. The peacemaking energy of the 9 is directly put into reality. They try to mediate conflict and make peace here and now. And sometimes wear themselves out in the process. I have a good friend who's a 9. Unfortunately, that's how it happens at times. On the other side of the 9, you have the 1, the reformer. And what happens when you combine the 9 and the 1 is you get this kind of intellectualized version of peace. It's called the dreamer, right? So they're still concerned about peace, but it's how do we get there theoretically? What are the ideas and the practices that might work? Equally important towards finding peace, but a very different way of going about it than the 9-wing 8. So that's all we have on wings. Now let's talk about integration and disintegration for the 9. As usual, when we disintegrate, we see that this tendency, the central passion, is only exasperated, right? So 9s move to 6, and they become anxious and fearful and actually act even less than they normally do. This sloth is accentuated in an attempt to avoid what's really messing with their inner peace. But there's an anxiety there now that adds to the problems. Now, on the other hand, when we integrate as a 9, we go to the 3, a healthy 3. And what we have there is this really healthy engagement with reality. There's a certain will that's exerted on the world that starts to change it and create peace in the world rather than just in the mind. So, now let's talk about how to get to that direction of integration. That's growth. So, for 9s, I really talk about exercising 2 things for growth. 1, exercising your emotions. It can seem that denying or numbing your emotions to maintain this sense of calm can be a good thing. But, as we all know, when you try to push things down, they only come up later. Guess that's a scientific law somewhere. And what really helps is to exercise your emotions, find the root of them and understand them. And that is when you truly do find a sense of peace and calm. But it's only after you deal with these roiling emotions that may knock your peace off kilter for a little bit. The second thing that I think 9s really can benefit from is exercising their will, right? Making actual changes in the world, saying their wants and their needs out loud and understanding they can have an impact. That's all I have for you. So 9s, remember, exercise your will and your emotions to start to change the world for the better and create that peace you see in yourself outside in the world. We really need you. Thank you for all the work you do.